Hey everybody, back here today working on my Bookish themed journal. I didn't jump on the YouTube yesterday, but I did work on this thing, and I was in a bit of a conundrum. My plan was for this to be 6 signatures. And when I kind of put it together, I was thinking, we'll be okay. We won't be too gator mouth. But as I continued to work on it, I did 2 videos where I was working on ephemera for this. So it is cram-packed with ephemera, tags and things like that. And so as I started putting my papers together yesterday, I realized this is not all going to fit. And now I could easily cut my spine and create a new one. But what I did was I went through and thinned it down a little bit. I had several pages of just blank writing pages. My coffee dyed or tea dyed or whatever pages, I had extras of these. And so I thinned out about 7 or 8 of these. And I did away with 1 signature. That was all I felt like I could pare down to, is getting rid of 1 signature. So I'm down to 5, and it's still pretty chunky. But I think I've got everything in it, and I think I'm just going to work with this. It is pretty chunky, but I think it'll be okay once you get it tied. I don't mind a little bit of chunk, but that was not my intention. I have yet to figure that out as far as, so I've done a journal before where I've just did the insides, the signatures, and then just kind of laid it and figured out my size from there. I don't know if you can tell that, but if I did that with this, I'd be okay because this side is considerably smaller than this side. So, I don't know that method really works. I really don't know what the method is that works. It seems like I do my journals different every time. But I wanted to, my signatures are done. I say they're done. I've got a little bit of final touches, stuff I want to make sure that I've browned my edges on a lot of things, but as far as putting stuff in them, my edges are done. So I'm going to set these aside, and I think I'm going to work on my cover. I've been so back and forth about it. I've got to figure out, this book comes with a slit already in the back cover for notes and things like that. I don't think I'm going to salvage that, though. I decided I want to do this as my cover. I was back and forth between this and this. But I love this image. And I think if we trim it down, we can make it fit nicely there. And I need to figure out my fabric spine cover. I don't think I have a box of fabric scraps up here in my art space. But I also have a huge box back in my spare bedroom. I should have thought about that and got that taken care of before we came in here. So I need a strip of fabric for the spine, and I need a strip of fabric for the inside, to cover the inside. I don't know that my scrap box is going to help me with that. That would be pretty if I had enough of it. My little scrap box, fabric scrap box, is just what it is. It is legit fabric scraps. Anything that's big enough to cover a spine, I try to put back in my big box. So I don't know that this is going to help us any. So we will table that one because I'm not going to go back to the back and dig through fabric and put you guys on hold for a minute. If I felt like I knew right where the fabric I wanted to use was, then I would do that. But actually, let me just hold, please. That didn't take long. I just grabbed a handful of stuff that we can play with, just to see what our options are. I like that a lot. Okay, so let us, first off, let's cut this down. Get that trimmed down, and sorry about the reach there. Let us trim this down. It was kind of my intention to do more of this journal on video, but it just didn't work out that way. I worked on it quite a bit yesterday. But it wasn't conducive for me to be on camera because of people in my house. So, oh, that was a little crooked, but that's okay. So we did not get on camera yesterday. Okay. It's times like these I wish I had a book plate. I don't think I do, though. I don't think I do. I'll have to look at it and see. So we have this option, which is very pretty with that brown. And I think this, there's even some scraps of this throughout on my little tags. We have this blue, which may be too dark. Maybe I could use it for the center. And then what do we have in here? We have this. That's a little dark. Yeah, that's pretty. That's a potential. We have this. I'm not liking this at all. It's too pink. And then we have this. I kind of like that as well. What says you? This matches like the trim. This matches the trim, but it also pulls out the red book for a little pop of color. Decisions. I'm really liking this. Honestly. I mean, there's nothing that says I can't use both, right? We have this, but I don't know that not feeling that one at all. Okay. So if we did this, yeah, I like this one. Okay. So, all that to be said, let's work on the inside. I'm not going to reinforce my spine, I don't think. This is the original spine on the book. I think it's good. Here's what I'm thinking. For the inside covers. Why am I thinking this? I don't know. I just feel like it goes. I just feel like it will work. Now, that being said, not that you can really see this inside fabric much, but yeah, I think that'll work better. Okay. Okay, so let's sit down and work on the inside. So let's see here. I have enough to line up evenly, or I can bring it down a little bit and show some inside. So I've coffee dyed just a trim because I wasn't 100% sure on my page. If we bring it down a little bit and give that coffee dyed trim, it gives a little bit of extra interest. Just a little bit. Okay. So we're just going to eyeball measure this. I have so much stuff on my desk, it's not even funny. I think that's what happens though when I get in a groove and I'm in the middle of a journal. We're going to assume that both sides are the same size. I have a little bit of a cold in my nose this morning. It's Sunday morning. Predicted snow today. I am home and don't plan to go anywhere until I thaw out. We have, I think this morning when I woke up, our temperature was 15 degrees, which is cold. Oddly enough, this needs to be trimmed a little bit more. But anyway, snow's supposed to come in a little afternoon today. And it's so cold that whatever falls will stick and cause issues. In Arkansas, we don't know how to drive in this stuff, and we don't have the means to clear our roads appropriately. We don't have the means to deal with 1-inch snow, much less the 3 to 5 to 6 that they're talking we might get. So needless to say, there's been a slight freak out panic here in the state because, again, nobody knows what to do with winter weather. And they're calling for some of it. So, there we go. Part of me feels like I need to cut this extra piece out. But if I do that, it's going to mess this up. Let's just work with it, see what happens. See what happens. New bottle of Weld Bond. Using my little makeup applicator. I need to break out my other one. These are good to peel the glue off, but I think after extended period of use, it cakes up to where it's harder to get off. That's what I'm dealing with right now. It's still got a good layer. The big chunks of it come off, but there's a thin layer that it's not a huge deal, but it leaves a little scratchy mark. And while I thought I had too much glue, it appears that I'm working with not enough. Because I need it to go to the edges. I need it not to crinkle like it is. That's for sure. You out of the way, and you into the way. Folder. And because I left that little pocket, I've got a little bit of a lip here, but that's okay. Do the same thing with this little image. Good layer of glue, so we'll stay down. In all the right places. So this Bookish journal, I kind of did it, I feel like I did it a little differently than the other journals that I've done. Because on this one, I had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to make ephemera with. And so I just started making ephemera. I kind of had an idea for what book I was going to use, what cover, what size I was going for. But usually I kind of start making my pages and then make ephemera to go in my pages. And so yesterday when I was working on this, I had all my ephemera, and I decided I was going to do 6 signatures, and so I just went through my ephemera and kind of divided it by 6, and had a stash of ephemera for each signature, and just kind of went with it from there. Build my pages, kind of around that. And I was kind of going with a commonplace theme. I mean, let me take that back. Commonplace theme to me is very eclectic, very random, very whatever goes. And I have yet to do an actual commonplace journal that really has no theme, no rhyme or reason. It's just cool, junk journal, all sorts of junk kind of thing. I have yet to do one of those with no theme. So I feel like this Bookish journal that I'm working on now is a step in that direction, I guess is the better way to say it. While everything is Bookish themed, it truly is a junk journal. I have magazine scraps, I have book pieces scraps, I have, just a random array of junk, per se. I use the term junk in a loving manner. I didn't do any printables for this journal. I didn't, I don't really have a color scheme. It's kind of grungy. And with that, I think is where I'm kind of feeling commonplace. It's like this magazine cut out from this page, and this book theme from this page, and this little cartoon. It's just a random mix of book themed stuff. And it's grungy, and I like it. I'm really liking it. Yesterday, I had company over, and we had dinner, and I was like, okay, you go watch TV. I got to get back to this journal. Which is rare for me. I usually hang out with my company, and they were like, you're fine. I was like, no, I'm really feeling it. I'm really feeling like I need to be in this journal right now. So, I kind of had to leave my company to fend for themselves. And they were okay with it. They're like, oh, I like it when you're in your groove, Because I'm telling you, I was feeling it. I was feeling it. In the groove. And I think, so a lot of this book is pictures and images and all that from this book that I harvested, The Painted House. Not to be confused with The Painted House by John Grisham, I think it is. But this image is from it. So I harvested that book a while ago, and I loved all the images in it. Like, I cut out every page. And it's a book about, I've shown it in a couple of my other videos, but it's a book about a house that has basically murals everywhere throughout it. It's painted. And so you're totally crooked. Let's see if we can shift a little bit. It is got a book about this house that has all these images in it, and all these images just felt very library to me. So I felt like I needed it in this Bookish book. So that's really the only quote unquote theme that goes throughout here is that there's a lot of these images from this book. Other than that, we are just, it's pretty willy-nilly commonplace. And all that to be said is, so I feel like I'm working my way towards that. Since I did this one a little different with the making my ephemera first kind of thing, I feel like I want to do another one like that, if that makes any sense. I want to just start working on ephemera and, you know, see what happens with it kind of thing. And then make a book around the ephemera that I've created. Because that's essentially what I did. I kind of went with an overall grungy theme. And then, oh, that stuff stuck to me everywhere. I need to... Much better. Oh, fighting with strings this morning. Okay. Let's see if we have managed to get this in a good spot. I think so. And so with this, glue on my fingers. That always sidetracks me. It's kind of like, ooh, squirrel. I'm going down the spine and then off to the side a little bit because I want to cover up the edges where it's really grungy. So I'm going onto the paper here. And my fabric will, it won't be glued down entirely because I'm okay if it flaps up a little bit. But I do want it to be glued down pretty good. So you can't peek and see the mess, if that makes any sense. And just laying this in the center. Patting it down. So see, I still have a little bit of flap, but if you flap it back, you won't see any of the mess. You'll just see where the background paper. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I could probably glue it down a little bit more there. Just a little bit. I think it's a little longer on this side, but that's okay. It's in the back. I'm just going to pay that close attention to it. But so there's our inside. Yeah, I kind of like that. Oh, here. Our original paper is coming up. That's not good. That was not the plan, sir. Okay. Everybody smooth? Everybody good? I think so. Now, onto the front. I do, again, like this here a lot. I wish, let me see if I got something. I don't think I have a book plate. Tear things up. I don't think I have a book plate, but let's see what we got in our little box of goodies. No. That has absolutely nothing to do with books. Oh, think, Shell. Think about all your goodies and where you have goodies and what kind of goodies you have. I have a big box of metal pieces. Well, that would work if it wasn't so big. Maybe a key? I have a couple of these. That's kind of cool. I could just do a single key down there. What do you think about that? The trick will be getting it to stay without being so globby. Mostly what is in this box of metal stuff is keys, watch faces, that's interesting. Let me set that aside for a minute. I'm gonna decide which key I like better. This one lays flattest. Okay. Set that aside. Maybe that'll work if we just do this and a key down here. What says you? I think first I need to determine or decide on this. And I just want to mainly just cover this writing. I don't need it to come to a certain size or section or anything like that. You know, I don't really want it flapping over a lot, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I guess it could flap over a lot in the back. Nothing wrong with that. Glue on the fingers. Okay, we are even there. So let's rough our edges here. And rough our edges here. And fight with the strings that are going to be all over my desk. Okay, so if we have you here, I really don't want to I really don't want to come into, we're just going to go down this crease. And down this other crease for now. And we'll see what there's a key on it. Okay. Again, I don't want to go too much into the cover. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm good for this to come all the way over here on the back side. I mean, I don't feel like it has to be even, I guess is what I'm saying. Yep. I think that'll work. And we'll put this little guy here. Yep, I think that'll work. I love these two pieces. They're a piece of a book cover. I haven't used them in this book yet, but I will. I'm going to have to do something with them, I think. Okay. Are we good with that there, Shell? A little bitty tinge of white. Yep, I think I like it. I do think I like it. Okay. It's from a local magazine. Again, junk. So if you are amongst these people in this picture, you're forever immortalized into this book. However that makes you feel. I want to get a good spread of glue. You here. You there. Probably should do this with clean fingers. But we're rolling with it. Love it. It's so pretty. We have a bubble. We have a bubble. I think it's great to use your bone folder to smush out bubbles, but you have to keep your bone folder clean because when glue dries on it, it creates a not so smooth edge and you'll just rip through your page. I just gouged that with my finger. Okay, Shell, leave it alone. I think what I want to do is, I feel like I need a layer of Mod Podge over it. But I also feel like I need to glue this down first. Okay. I don't know how it's best to do this. So we are globbing the glue and then I'll just make it happen. And I think I'm just going to leave that. It's really gluey, but I think we'll set that aside to, leave it alone, Shell. We're just going to leave it alone and let it sit to dry. In the meanwhile, I'll work on touching up my pages. Again, I've got my signatures done. Can't wait to show you guys all the goodies that are in this book. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. And I will probably Mod Podge it all over it to cover the key and everything, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. There's a bubble in here. Okay. Setting this aside to dry. I'm going to work on touching up my pages, and then I will be back. Possibly the next time I'm back with this book, it'll be a flip through. I don't think y'all want to see me wrestle with putting it together. Who knows? Anyways, I will see you guys soon. Bye for now.